Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Music Den. I'm of course your host Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. It is a beautiful day here in Edmonton, cold but beautiful. Perfect time to do another video. We are going to be doing another installment of live album spotlight slash discussion. I am joined by Mr. Bryan McFadden. How are you doing, Brian?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
No problem. No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Live Album Spotlight is going to be on none other than Rush and their first live release from 1976 called All the World's a Stage. Now, in doing my research through Wikipedia, it has become my best friend over the past few months. I discovered that this is not only is this Rush's first live commercial release, but this is one of 11 live releases that they've done over their career. Just a bit about this album. It was recorded live at Massey Hall in Toronto. Massey Hall is located on Yonge Street, Victoria Street, just off of Yonge Street, which is the main downtown street in Toronto. Massey Hall is a small venue. It holds just over something like 2,700 people. The acoustics in this place are amazing. I saw one band at Massey Hall. I saw Extreme in February of 1993. And Saigon Kick opened the show, and I can attest. The acoustics in this place are bloody amazing. All the World's a Stage was recorded June 11th to the 13th, 1976. The album was released on September 29th, 1976. Max Webster opened all three shows for the band at the time. Max Webster, you may or may not know, fronted by one Kim Mitchell, fantastic guitarist. Max Webster in the States was not well known by the general public at large. They toured quite heavily with Rush over the years. Unfortunately, they did not hit the same musical heights in terms of popularity as Rush did. All the World's Stage has been released, obviously vinyl, triple panel album form, and also CD. It's been most recent vinyl release was in 2016 for the anniversary release of All the World's a Stage. 10 tracks on the album. Fantastic album. A very guitar driven, but that's my opinion. I will pass it over to Brian so he can tell us what are his views on the band and this album. So take it away.
Hey, I'm a very fairly new Rush fan due to the pandemic and the COVID shutdowns. Um, I had started with moving pictures, and again with the hits and the quality of just the musicianship, maybe want to go back more. And I ended up buying some of the other albums like 2112 and Hemispheres, and I went from there. Even like Farewell to Kings, which is the album that was released after this live album. Um, I didn't get into the first four albums, so
Mhm.
me buying this live album gave me a cheat where I didn't have to buy the three albums, but I can get all the hits that I wanted from it because I'm a greatest hits like Chronicles guy, right? Or Spirit of Radio.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
went back and diving into the albums like one after another in a row. It started really growing on me. So what I ended up buying was an original press of All the World's a Stage, and it's got like a lot number down here on the
Mhm.
front of this cover,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot number, the same lot number on the back of the cover. And this copy was a dud. It was I don't know. I don't know if it's an original. It's a player copy, right? But over the years, the thing is just it's gotten warped and just almost unlistenable. So I went and bought another copy, and I think this was a repress after that one. It doesn't have the lot number down here, and it's got the same lot number here on the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Night and day recordings from that one to this one. So this is the
Really?
one I pulled.
Yeah.
The other one I don't even listen to. So
Yeah.
what got me
Okay.
into them was the 2112 second side, and it really blew me away. And I know that they had to take out I know they had to take out two songs from it, which was just to make it fit on the side of the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, Discovery and the Oracle Dream. And I noticed that when I because I like 2112, and then it's like, wait, there's something missing. Wait, it's short. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I had to
Yeah.
think about it, like, well, I had to cut it down to fit on one side, which makes sense. So
Yeah. I,
um
yeah. Just a bit, just a note, guys. The they did the entire, well, 95% of the 2112 suite, due to according to the note, my notes, due to stage time constraints and vinyl constraints, because vinyl recording time, you can only have up to like 20 minutes per side of recording time on vinyl. So Discovery was cut down to like the last 32 seconds of Discovery, which segues into presentation, and Oracle the Dream was omitted completely from the set. Yeah, and let me ask you a quick question. Listening to the album, how heavy do you think this album is for you in terms of guitar driven?
yeah, this is some of their heavier stuff, especially with like the Working Man. I like the medleys that they do in between.
Yeah,
You don't get a full song, but you get the idea of most of it, and then they move on. I wish I had seen this live, and they keep telling me that there's a DVD. I still have yet to see it, but it'd be interesting to watch that when they're so young in their prime doing these first four albums. But
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
impressed with it. Bastille Day I love a lot. Uh, I mean, of course, the 2112 just sticks out, but Lakeside Park I love. Bell Tour, yeah, By Tour the Snow Dog, which I really like a lot. And I like that off of Crest of Steel. I
yeah,
like these live versions a lot better, but
yeah.
it allowed me to cheat, so I didn't have to go spend money on four albums where I can get the hits that I like from those four
Well,
albums. So
exactly, right. And just a bit of background too. This cycle of recording four albums or three or four albums and then doing a live album and then recording another batch of like three or four albums and another live album, they would continue that cycle, much like Kiss did with Alive and Alive 2. The set list for this album, for the concert, is just, for me, blistering in terms of like guitar soloing and just balls to the wall rock, right? I mean, it starts
and
off
his
with
screaming,
sorry.
yeah, his screaming is
Oh
great on
yeah.
this. I know people, it turns a lot of people off, but I don't know. The screamier the better. I like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the set starts off with, on disc one, with Bastille Day, right? And it's just amazing. Then it goes into Anthem, Fly By Night, which segues into In the Mood from the first album with John Rutsey on drums.
Yeah.
And then it ends with Something for Nothing, right? And to me, it just sounds like they were able to stretch out a little bit, like they're able to do a bit of flourishes here and there, like guitar soloing and stuff, right?
Right.
But they still
Yeah,
keep this,
there's a big spotlight on Alex in this. He's got
yeah,
a lot of room. He's got a lot of elbow room. They give him plenty of rope. You know what I mean? So
plenty
and
latitude. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't waste a second.
yeah, and I mean, side two starts off with Lakeside Park, clocks in at 5 minutes 4 seconds, and I've always loved that song from Caress of Steel.
Yeah.
But and then they go into the the epic 2112 suite. And what I've noticed is because what they did was, the intro, the spacey intro, they basically they would eventually program that into like a key. They would sample it into like one of the keys on the keyboard. You just press the key, and it would go into the opening. I think for this concert they had it like on backing tape, right? And to me, I could barely hear it when it starts up, right? I mean, it's starting because people are going nuts
Yeah, yeah.
in the theater, right? Yeah, they go ballistic. But I mean, holy shit. Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. Overture, the Temple of Syrinx, the 32-second discovery edit, that they add in there, presentation, soliloquy, and then the grand finale. It is just like they go, like, we're talking, they're tight, right? I mean,
Right.
to me, and then I'll pass off to you, but to me, it sounds like they reached a point where when they released Caress of Steel, it didn't do well. Mercury was going to drop them. They released 2112. It hits big. And to me, it just sounds like when they're doing the 2112, they're just enjoying themselves with it, right?
Yeah.
They're just having fun with it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of raw emotion in it, and it starts right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And like you were saying with the heavier stuff, it is a lot heavier on this, and it's not so keyboard orientated, but it's just kind of a background thing. And even the drum solo that he does during Working Man and was it Finding My Way at the end,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. But he does the thing with the passage for Bangkok,
Yeah, the
right?
bells. Yeah,
Yeah, the bells. And you can hear him rattling on, and he's doing the handbells. Oh man, that gave me chills when I heard that. I was like, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I mean,
There's a
yeah.
there's a wider dynamic of them live than it is on the, trying to capture all that magic in a studio, and they actually do it live. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, I saw them in the 2000s when they did I keep forgetting the name of that cover EP that they did. They did
I
a
know. Yeah.
covers EP, and I saw them in concert with a friend of mine. She came with me to the show, and at an open air arena, like theater, the Molson Amphitheater in Toronto, and they were just amazing. They blew everybody out of away with, and blew other bands out of the water at the time. I mean, but even to get back to this album, I mean, there are only, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean there are only 10 tracks listed on this album, right? I mean, side side two of album one ends with the 2112 suite. Side three starts off with Bytor and the Snow Dog. I mean, I've listened to this song like
14 minutes. 14 minutes of that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and even listening to this track, it's like even Geddy Lee at one point, like, what is that song about? You know what I mean? He really didn't even get it at the time. Like, it's epic, it's grand, it's huge,
Yeah. Huge.
and it's like, what is this song all about? I have no freaking idea. I mean, Neil wrote the lyrics, but it's just amazing. They are so tight, like, and in terms of like basically a new band at the time, right? I mean, at this point they had toured with Kiss, in '74, and this was when they just started kind of like reap the rewards of what they were doing, right? With the success of 2112. Side three ends with a beautiful version of In the End, 7 minutes, 13 seconds, right? And
Yeah.
And then side four starts off with a medley of Working Man and Finding My Way. 14 minutes. Like, 14 minutes and 56 seconds, almost a 15-minute suite, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's amazing. Like, and then they ended off with the encore of What You're Doing, and that's like another 5 minutes plus, right? Like almost 6 minutes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the drum solo on Working Man, Finding My Way, it's like amazing. Like
Yeah. That's his
listening to,
signature drum solo, and I know I've heard it him do different versions of it or updated versions of it on some of
yeah,
the other albums. But then he's got those other two drum solos that he relies on too that he uses. I guess so you don't get bored for the same fans that are probably going to be going every show. So,
yeah, I mean, you want to incorporate, you want to keep it interesting for yourself. I think you want to try and incorporate different elements, like different parts, right? And
oh
um,
yeah,
but I mean, you're right. I mean, but in terms of sales, I mean, this went platinum in the US, it went platinum in Canada. It hit
mm-hmm.
number 6 in Canada on the charts.
Went platinum in '81, so it took a few years for it to catch on, but it did go
Yeah,
platinum. Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, no. I think it went platinum the same year in 76 in Canada, and it took until 1981. Brian's right. After the release of Moving Pictures, right?
yeah,
Like
right.
on the success of that. So
Yeah,
I mean, and it went top. It hit number 40 in the charts in the US and number 6 in Canada. So I mean, would you say that this was, from what you're hearing on the album, that this was definitely a band on the rise, like like take gaining momentum, or
yeah. I would say after those four albums and then this one, now you're anticipating the next one, which I know did very well. Yeah, this one it hits on all cylinders. I would have been really impressed. It's like the greatest hits live album, basically. For what they had at the time, and having five albums, that's no slouch. Considering all the flack that they did receive for Caress of Steel. First album's good. There's a lot of hit and miss on it for me. I'm not really interested in the first album. Caress of Steel, I like. I'm still, I don't know, consuming that. It hasn't
yeah.
clicked in the way that it has with other people, but I haven't been listening to it as long as they have either. I
Mhm.
like it. It's a very strong album. It's just very strange in the whole catalog. That one just sticks out like a sore thumb. And then uh right, and then it was 2112, which yeah, basically a masterpiece. Everything
Yeah,
about it is uh pretty rock and roll in your face, and it's not all the keyboards and stuff. It's just the samples and the interlude thing.
yeah, yeah. What about
Yeah, on the rise, I would say they really hit their stride with Farewell to Kings right after they released this album, and
yeah,
that's the era that I really enjoy is like that Signals, Grace Under
okay.
Pressure.
Yeah, I get you. I understand. I mean, that's when first I remember hearing closer to the heart as a kid, like 8-year-old, 7-year-old kid, right?
Yeah,
And that's when I remember Rush. I never knew that they did 2112 or Caress of Steel or Fly By Night. What is your view on Fly By Night as the second album? Like, can you?
I like it. It's not a very long album, like
Yeah,
was it 36 minutes maybe? So it's kind of like it's over before you know it. So you play it, you flip it, it's over. But
yeah,
yeah, I like Fly By Night. There's that to me is that's a stronger album than their debut, but in my opinion, not by much. I'm not a huge fan of that album. I do like the hits off.
yeah. I mean, I'm not one for the debut myself. I kind of like started listening to it with listening to them with Fly By Night. Um, have you listened to all Exit Stage Left?
Yes, I had it, and I accidentally sold it in a bin of records that I had, and realized it after I had already sold it and came home. I'm like,
Okay,
oh man.
yeah, that's
But
the
yeah,
shit.
I liked it, but I like those albums better studio as opposed to those live. Xanadu on that is great.
Okay,
That's
okay.
incredible.
So
Or
I
live.
guess my question is, for me, I think that All the World's a Stage is, how can I put this? Balls to the wall, guitar driven rock. I mean, it's them at their most primal. Compared to Exit Stage Left, how do you compare All the World's a Stage and the next live release?
For like production wise,
Just sound, yeah, overall, like in
they're
terms of,
they're both heavy. They're both heavy. Exit. I mean, yeah, Exit Left. I haven't heard that in years, really. And
okay.
since I let it go by accident, I haven't sought it out because I have the records. I'm happy with those tracks, but I'll find it again. I'll probably find a remaster or something. I'll find something of that again. But I have like a show of hands, and I have Rio Brazil one.
Yeah, I
So
have that
I
as
do
well.
enjoy the live concerts, and I'll play them back to back because nothing crosses over as far as hearing the same songs twice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I completely get it. Um, I've got um I've got the R40 big coffee table book with the with the concerts, the DVDs, and the it's like 10 DVDs of like 8 shows,
wow,
that they did from like 1975 in 1974 at Laura Seacourt High School in Hamilton, Ontario,
wow.
with John Rutsey on drums, all the way up to I think it's Live in Rio. Like no. The Snakes, sorry, Snakes and Arrows,
Snakes
uh
and arrows.
yeah, tour. So yeah, no, I just think for me, All the World's a Stage, it is one of the heaviest live albums I've heard. I mean, in terms of that genre, of that era, like that type of rock music, like that. So I don't know. In terms of the overall picture, in terms of the live releases, for me, I think this is one of the better ones
Hmm.
for me, right?
I think it stands out on its own with with just the enthusiasm that's all over it, especially the crowd going crazy too. That helps. That keeps it going. But
Yeah,
that album's over. That album's over as soon as you play it too. It's before you know it, you're on the drum solo. It's like, oh, that's the last song.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. It's
I
true.
listened to it
It's
twice in the past week, and I'm always like, did I listen to this yet? Did I listen to this yet? And just because everything just flowed so quick, it just went right by.
yeah, yeah, and you don't realize it. It's like if with this album, if I wasn't looking at the track listing, I kind of felt like I missed songs
Right?
that went by me. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did I just miss? It's like,
Yeah, I was doing the same thing when I was reading like the back when I was listening to the record. I was like, wait a minute, did I hear this? And then I go on my YouTube and then I look it up on YouTube and I play it and I'm like, oh yeah, I did hear that. Oh yeah, I did.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly,
using it
exactly.
as a using YouTube as a reference while listening to a record is kind of that's
No,
kind of
no,
silly.
it's true. It's true. It's like again, uh, I went into some. It was playing. I was listening to something for nothing. I'm like, okay, did I just
Mm.
miss the track? And I go back and
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, no, it's okay. They segued.
yeah,
They segued into it, right? It's like, okay, I didn't miss anything, but
yeah.
I don't
Because that's
know.
the last song on 2112, and that's kind of a good way to go out on it.
Sorry, I didn't. What was that? I didn't hear what you said.
That's the last song on 2112, so that's a good way to go out on that album and wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It is. Okay. Well, what can I say about it? Ladies and gentlemen, for me, All the World's a Stage, it has to be, as I said before, one of the heaviest guitar driven um, Rush albums I've heard in terms of live. To me, it's heavier than all the, I was going to say All the World's a Stage again. It's heavier than Exit Stage Left. Okay. And a show of hands. And if you want a guitar driven hard rock balls to the wall album that does not quit in intensity and delivery and passion, This is the one. And for me, when they at the end of the album, when they all, the effect of them going off stage, talking after the show, and then you hear the door slamming behind them because they're all
You know,
like,
I like the one clap. I like the one clap when they're leaving. That was
exactly.
classic. That caught me by surprise and I started laughing. I
Yeah.
was like, that's
No,
brilliant.
to to
That's
me,
brilliant.
yeah, to me, that adds a bit of a human element to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So, um, is there anything else you want to add to your experience with this album, or what maybe hopes for the?
Uh, no, it wasn't life changing. I'm just happy that I have it. But
Okay.
it's good. It's good. But as far as the band goes, I like everything that's from this album forward, basically the best.
Okay.
Power Window is one of my favorite albums that they released. I know it gets a lot of poo poos, but I think it's a phenomenal album. I like every song on it. Everything makes sense to me. Everything clicked right away. I didn't have to sit on it like I've been doing for a couple of years with Caress of Steel. That was just
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a mess. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it doesn't have the like a nice continuous flow for me. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not really a prog guy, I love
okay.
prog, but listening to all this stuff, I didn't even know what prog was. I was just like, oh, this is kind of a weird rock and roll thing, right? Weird rock and roll. Just like I used to say about Floyd. I always thought they were just another rock band, right? And
Yeah.
people were like, oh, that's prog rock. I'm like, oh, it is? I didn't know that.
No,
I
okay.
always, I just thought it was rock because they're playing on the rock stations. It must be a rock and roll band.
All right. Here's a quick question for you. There's been news that Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are going to get back together to
Wow.
to perform and maybe record new music
I love
together.
I know Geddy Lee did his solo album, and he had Matt Cameron from Soundgarden playing the drums on that. So they got some kind of camp there. That was an odd choice at the time, and I, being a huge Soundgarden fan, I'm totally ecstatic about it just to listen to more, Matt Cameron.
Okay. Okay. Do you think that, I
They'll
mean,
easily find somebody. They'll easily find somebody because I'm pretty sure the money's there. I think the
the
stress would
money's
be,
there. The money's there
yeah,
big time.
I would say the stress would probably be you know practice and getting in. What would you pick for, if they got back together with a new drummer? What would you pick for a set list? Would you go back to the old, or would you just go through the whole catalog and just pick
Yeah,
certain?
exactly. Or if you record again, here's the question, and you guys can answer this in the comments below. If you record again, do you call it Rush? Or do you call it something else?
If
Like,
you're playing Rush songs, I think you'd have to stick with Rush, wouldn't you?
yeah, but okay. But in terms of touring and stuff, oh, okay. If you do like a great sets, but what I mean is if they were gonna record new material, would they want to do it under the name of Rush, or would they want to do something like, I don't know. Personally, for me, I think the name Rush is too strong to maybe
So do
to
like a
do.
Lee Lifeson thing, maybe at least like a hybrid Lee Lifeson, or
I don't know. I think the name Rush is
even like
too
an
strong.
ELP, whoever the new drummer is, they can do, their initials. They can do it that way too. I think it would
Yeah,
still fit with the prog community.
but I think that maybe for me, I think that the name of Rush is too strong. It's tied to them too closely that I don't think they could, if they recorded together again, which I hope they do.
Yeah.
Uh, hello, cute pup.
Yeah,
Um,
that's Miss Lola.
there you
She's
go.
telling. She
She
wants some
wants
screen
in.
time.
Cute pup, cute pup. But I'm just saying,
Uh,
I
she's
don't think
kicking me.
I don't think the fans would want them. Like, I think the fans have them too closely tied to the name Rush, so that, do you know what I mean? Like, if they wanted
I
to
don't. If you called it Rush, you're gonna make a lot of haters, and then if you call it something else, you're gonna make even more haters. So I don't know if there is a win-win. Like I said, if you just do the initials, you can keep it in the prog, you know, spotlight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And without
yeah,
calling it Rush, people will know
I
what it
got
is
you.
by.
I
by,
got you.
the initial.
What do you
I don't know. I'm not an aficionado with that, but I heard Mike Portnoy, his name gets thrown around a lot since the professor has passed. And I
Yeah,
know
I've
that
heard that
he
too.
left Dream Theater, so that would have been a perfect opportunity. But I guess he joined back with
He
them again,
rejoined,
which
yeah, he rejoined Green. I was going to say
yeah,
Dream Theater. Yeah, he rejoined Dream Theater. Here's another quick question, and then we'll call it a day. In terms of Geddy Lee's vocal range, like I mean, it's changed over the years. It's
oh yeah,
he
yep,
can't hit the notes, the high
yeah,
notes like he used to, right?
hmm
And
hmm
I noticed that with listening to the albums. I noticed that especially on Clockwork Angels, the last one. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that he should still sing, or
yeah. I think you can't have it without him singing. Honestly, I don't know who you would pick. I don't know anybody that sounds like him. I'm sure
yeah,
people could mimic, but maybe not sound like him. I don't know. I think you'd have to stick with Getty. I just if they're gonna throw it back together, he's the man in the front. I think you better
yeah,
give him the shot.
yeah, I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree about that.
And
Um,
I'm sure he's humble enough to know his limitations. And I know that if he had an issue with something, either they wouldn't do the song or maybe they could stretch it. I don't know.
or change
I
the
don't know with
key,
like little enhancements. You know what I mean? But
or
that's
change the key, change the key, the key that it's in for singing.
right. Or
Just
just write
sing,
it lower to whatever key
yeah,
he can
sing
sing.
in the
And
lower
then,
register.
yeah, there you go. That's what I would do. That's what I would hope that they would do, as opposed to just. But then it'd be a whole different band. It wouldn't be Rush if you got like a new singer and then you got a new
Yeah,
drummer.
no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. All right.
Alex Lifeson, he went
So,
to that solo album. Well, not solo album, but he joined that other band. Can't remember the name. And
oh,
he's not
yeah,
kind of keyboardy, and I think it's more like an alternative thing.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I've
strumming, whatever.
Oh
Alternative.
my God, is it? Oh my God, I forget the name of it now. With the
Yeah, I can't remember it either. And I don't have it, so I
yeah,
can't look
no.
it up.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this episode. Please, down there in the comments below, down there, let us know what your views are on All the World's a Stage. Do you like the album? Do you not like the album? Do you think that it should be longer? Before we came on, uh, Brian
Rewrite.
mentioned about having it be a triple album.
Triple
Should it have
album.
been
Yeah.
a triple album, or do you not like the album at all? Please let us know what your opinions are of this album and of anything that we spoke about on this episode. I want to thank Bryan McFadden for coming back on the channel, and
Thank you. Talk to you.
always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. And because side note, I usually do these on my own, but it's always nice to get somebody else's opinion on this, just
Right.
to get their viewpoint. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please put down there in the comments what you think of All the World's a Stage, or what is your favorite live Rush album. You have 11 to choose from. That's a lot of live albums to choose from.
Yeah.
And for Mr. Bryan McFadden, I am Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys have a good day. Please look after yourselves and one another, and we will see you soon with more episodes. Bye for now.